But he looked like Fonzie on the outside, but inside there was this, a really sort of a bit of a hippie sort of 60s love child sort of thing in there. It's great fun to be around, an absolute gentleman. On Monday nights when we were based in Melbourne, I never lived in the band house. I lived in housing projects about 2 miles from the band house. It's sort of these housing projects in Melbourne. They're all around the city. It looks a bit like what is it? That Bedford Stuyvesant in New York. Yeah. It looks exactly like that. 12-story, 20-story blocks, and so Bond used to come around every Monday night, and we have roast lamb, and he used to be out washing dishes with my mum, and my mother Norma, and Bond got on famously. He was really missed the domestic family side of things. It was by his own admissions, he was a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about him without having a big smile on my face, and what's been, no point in raking over old stories in it, but as far as being an out of control guy that drank too much and did other things, hey, if he was doing that all the time, he was hiding it pretty well, man. You can't be that sharp and that much on the ball if you reckon your life,
Was he just writing lyrics all the time? Would you look over and he's just jotting stuff down, or how did that happen?
He had like he just had books. He had these here in Australia we used to have these what were they called? Called exercise books. Kids having primary school, elementary school, and junior high. Just pads,
Notebooks.
And he'd always be writing down things, And he had a great turn of phrase, man. Some of the lyrics to things like waiting around to be a millionaire. That's gold, And even early stuff like Long Way to the Top. It's just I remember Bond and Angry having a conversation at the back of a gig one time, and Bond called it, likened both himself and Angry. He said, we're street poets. We're just talking about life on the road, And I think because of the lyrics, both with, I know I'm drawing comparisons between AC/DC and Rose Tattoo, because the only best way I can explain it. The lyric content of it is this bad boy sort of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think you can't live your life like that, but it's a romantic sort of thing, it's a part of your life in 3 or 4 minutes. So it gets reduced to an essence, so to speak. So with Angry and Bond writing lyrics like that, it's romantic, if you will. That's just it's not the way they live their life,
Yeah. Yeah, they're like mini movies, They're like mini movies.
Yeah, and it's like it's a lot of it's imagery and stuff like that.
Yeah, on the day I was born.
Mate, like that guy, like that guy who wrote MacArthur's Park. He didn't really leave the cake out in the rain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think because of the content of the lyrics. People sort of then get that idea of in their mind what these guys are like, and that's how they live their life.
Right?
Like I'd be with Bond, and we'd go in bars all over the world, right? We'd go, and I'd walk up to the bar and be with Bond, and we'd be in Germany. We could be anywhere, right? And people say, "Gee, your pal looks like Bon Scott." I said, "Oh yeah, a lot of people say that, you know, because they didn't expect him to be the size that he was, because
He's small.
I'm no giant. I'm barely 5'6", but but if you look at the old photos, I look like Lyle Alzado, or so. I should be like a linebacker or something. I look like this big massive guy.